Ecomm Learners, and to everyone who are with me today. It's been quite a while again since I last provided you with a new video lesson. I hope you're all doing good. Again, I am Teacher Claire, and my channel offers short yet significant discussions on lessons valuable for students to easily understand classroom lectures. Further, the channel also offers some more varied educational contents. So if it's your first time here, I will be so glad to have you with me in my YouTube journey. So please click the subscribe button, like this video as well, and click the bell icon for you to be updated on my next video contents. Now let's get started. Writing a research paper is one among the significant requirements a high school student complies with. However, ensuring that the research paper language is grammatically error-free is an essential step in a journey of a research paper from conception to publication. You need to always remember that good grammar and sentence structure enhance the readability of your research paper. I know that many students and sometimes even professional researchers find themselves struggling with various aspects of academic writing. And one critical aspect is ensuring correct grammar. Most importantly, the appropriate use of tenses in your research paper. In this video lesson, I will focus on using tenses in research writing. Bear in mind that tenses in scientific writing serve as valuable tools to indicate the time frame in which certain actions or ideas take place. It communicates an event's location in time. The different tenses are identified by their associated verb forms. There are three main verb tenses: the past, the present, and the future. The simple past tense and simple present tense are the most used tenses in research papers. They are supplemented by the present perfect, past perfect, and occasionally the future tense. The present simple is the most commonly used tense in academic writing. So, if in doubt, this should be your default choice of tense. In describing facts, generalizations, and explanations, you always use the simple tense. Facts that are always true do not need to be located in a specific time, so they are stated in the present simple. Example: photosynthesis refers to the process by which plants convert sunlight into chemical energy. Consistency and precision are crucial in academic writing, especially in research writing. So let's dig into the basics of tenses in your research paper and discuss the recommended tenses for each section. And of course, our objective in being consistent is to ensure clarity of thoughts and provision of data information in your research paper. Let's have the simple past tense for literature review. Use this tense in your research paper when talking of or describing specific actions or events that occurred in the past. They should not be linked to the present in the same sentence. The simple past tense is used predominantly in the literature review or review of related literature to talk about existing research on the topic. For example, Watson and Crick published their landmark paper on the structure of DNA in 1953. Our simple past tense there is the word published. It is also typically used in the methods section to describe the methods used in previous studies, what you did and how you did it. For example, we selected 5 samples at random. The verb there, which is in past form, is the verb selected. This tense in scientific writing can also be used to state facts that were once believed to be true but have since been invalidated. For example, bats were thought to be blind. The past form of the verb there is the verb were. The past simple is also the most appropriate choice for reporting the results of your research. Examples are: all of the focus group participants agreed that the new version was an improvement. The verbs there, which are in the past simple tense, are the words agreed and was. We found a positive correlation between the variables, but it was not as strong as we hypothesized. The verbs in this sentence are the words found, was, and hypothesized. Next is the past perfect tense for methods and conclusion. The past perfect tense is best used to describe two related events that occurred at different times in the past. This tense is typically used in the methods section, especially when describing earlier stages of the experimental procedure. For example, by the time the temperature and humidity reached optimal levels, the plants had already begun to revive. The past perfect tense in this information is had begun. Another example is respondents who had been grouped into different control groups were given a placebo instead of the new formulation. The past perfect tense of the verb in this data is had been grouped. Use the past perfect tense in your research paper to describe research or experiments that may have already been completed at the time of writing the manuscript and in the conclusion to summarize the research findings. Now, let's talk about the simple present tense used for introduction, results, tables, and figures. Simple present tense is used in the introduction when stating the objectives of the study, to interpret the results, discuss the significance of the findings, or to present conclusions. Use also the simple present tense in your research papers when referring to results presented in tables and figures in your writing. For example, figure 3 shows that. So the verb there is the word shows, which is in simple present tense. The present tense can also be used to talk about the research paper as a whole. For example, section 4.1 discusses. The simple present tense of the verb is the word discusses. This tense is also used to state what is generally true and what is unlikely to change. For example, the earth revolves around the sun. The word revolves is the present tense. For human babies generally start speaking when they are 2 years old. The verb in the simple present tense is the word start. This tense works well in the results section, which indicates what one believes to be true and relevant to the present research. For example, Robinson maintains that soaking seeds in strong acid helps in breaking seed dormancy. The verbs in simple present tense are the words maintains and helps. Another is the present perfect tense for the introduction and literature review. The present perfect tense is used to talk about a past event that is linked to the present or to talk about trends or events that have occurred recently. One may need to use this tense in the introduction while providing a background to the study. For example, the demand for more sophisticated 5G devices has increased significantly over the past years. The verb in its present perfect tense are the words has increased. Additionally, the present perfect tense is also used frequently in the literature review sections while referring to previous research that is fairly recent. For example, recent experiments on the samples collected have revealed high levels of saline. The words which are in present perfect tense are have revealed. Present perfect tense is also a best choice when summarizing previous work. When summarizing a whole body of research or describing the history of an ongoing debate, use the present perfect tense. Examples: many researchers have investigated the effects of poverty on health. Have investigated is in present perfect tense. Studies have shown a link between cancer and red meat consumption. Have shown is in present perfect tense. Identity politics has been a topic of heated debate since the 1960s. Has been is in present perfect tense. The problem of free will has vexed philosophers for centuries. Has vexed is in present perfect tense. Further, present perfect tense is also used in emphasizing the present relevance of previous work. When describing the outcomes of past research with verbs like find, discover, or demonstrate, you can use either the past simple or the present perfect tense. The present perfect is a good choice to emphasize the continuing relevance of a piece of research and its consequences for your own work. It implies that the current research will build on, follow from, or respond to what previous researchers have done. Example, Smith, 2015, has found that younger drivers are involved in more traffic accidents than older drivers, but more research is required to make effective policy recommendations. Has found is in present perfect tense. As Monbiot, 2013, has shown, ecological change is closely linked to social and political processes. Has shown is in present perfect tense. We also have the future tense for the discussion and conclusions. Use the future tense in your research paper when describing events that are expected to occur in the future. This is not very common though in academic writing like research paper. Typically, its use is limited to the discussion section toward the end, when one needs to make recommendations or indicate a future course of action based on the research results. It is usually recommended that parts of the conclusion section be written in the future tense. For example, these research findings will open up new possibilities for the effective use of Epsom salt in agriculture. Will open up is the verb which is in future tense. While those I have discussed are the most commonly used tenses in writing a research paper, bear in mind that there are many cases where you will use other tenses to make distinctions between times. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and you learned from the discussion. I'll be with you again next time. Remember that happiness is a choice, so always choose to wear a happy heart. Thanks for watching!